Good morning and welcome to this rectorate of the University of Córdoba. We are going to start this international congress, and we will start by giving the floor to Giuseppe Aloisio, who's the General Director of Forestry Policies and Biodiversity in the Sustainability, Environment, and Counselor of the Regional Government of Andalusia. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, my dear Antonio, dear Vicente, and welcome, particularly those of you who are coming from outside Cordoba. It's great to start breathing that uh, air of the fall that we were missing so much. We are also missing water, and we really need it. I would like to apologize on behalf of the counselor. He had been invited to come by the organizers. He has just been appointed as the spokesperson for the government, and he has a very tight agenda. However, since the regional government of Andalusia, we are here and we want to support you. Sometimes they are happy coincidences, situations that add and that can create virtuous circles. That's what happens when extensive livestock and the use of the environment come together in a day like today, which is the end of 4 years of work in the framework of the European Union. It's a constant effort of permeability, and we are comparing different models and the different partners of this uh, project are working together. There has been a decrease in extensive livestock keeping because of the profitability, but also because of the sociological changes in our society. That has affected the situation of our forests because of the abandonment, the uncontrolled growth of vegetation, too thick of a growth, loss of biodiversity, accumulation of fuels, etc. And there are many problems that come about with this. Also, there is not enough land for pastoralist activities, and this is an activity that is sustainable and is suffering. This activity fits very well in this concept of circular economy that is a good tool for climate change. And this affects very much the areas in the mountains that are in more need of alternatives to fight against depopulation. That's why I'm talking about a symbiosis. This symbiosis is very needed for the environment, but also is very necessary in society. So, from my current position and from the counselor, we are wondering what can we do. So we have gone over the strategic plan for the adaptation of livestock, extensive livestock to climate change. This plan is the backbone of this project. And I find some key lines like promoting the use of livestock for the maintenance of public infrastructure like power lines, gardens, etc., guaranteeing regulations for environmental conservation and agricultural policies that include knowledge on extensive livestock, recognizing the value of uh, livestock to prevent fires, help get rid of bureaucracy when it comes to certifications, health activities, short circuit commercialization, promote the harmonization of basic laws that affect the extensive livestock sector, for example, the laws on the livestock routes, mm, promoting the access to communal forests and the access to uh, protected areas, promoting the access of livestock to communal lands, and promoting conservation and recovery plans for infrastructures like livestock routes. And this includes shelters, water points, integrate the extensive livestock sector through territorial representatives in the different representation uh, agencies or entities, for example, different spaces to create tools and training and make social participation more dynamic taking into consideration the needs of farmers, livestock farmers. After reading all these keys, I reached some conclusions. The first one is that proposals coincide with many policies and actions that we have carried out from the government of Andalusia. This proposal is also an added stimulus to incentivize extensive livestock from our government. Fighting fires is a priority, and we're convinced about the capacity of livestock keeping as a pillar of it because this um, helps prevent fires during the winter through management. Obviously, we are also aware of the need to provide better incentives that make this activity feasible and easier. And thanks to the contribution of science and the dissemination of the outcome of meetings like the one today, we are absolutely convinced that extensive livestock is going to contribute to the mitigation of climate change. And in the near future, this contribution will be included in the compensation mechanisms, emission compensation mechanisms. But for this, we need a legal framework that facilitates its revitalization and a framework that makes it clear how positive it is for society, whether or not we consume its products. I just want to emphasize the fact that we will act consistently with what we have been doing and saying. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vice Rector. Thanks, General Director, for being here. I wish to welcome the President of the Spanish Federation of the DESA, who's here with us, the President of the Savit, President, sorry, colleagues from these university students, and welcome also farmers. Without you, none of this would make sense. You are preserving a means of production that is very much needed, as the General Director said. It's very hard for farmers to attend an event like this because right now they're having to feed their livestock. We are going through a terrible drought. We really hope that there will be a rain. It's going to affect tourists, but it doesn't matter. We really need rain. Everyone was complaining about the heat in Córdoba. This is going to be recorded, so many farmers will be able to hear this later. 400 people have registered online. We have 120 people who registered to be here. During these days, we will have time to debate on the situation of livestock. We will analyze its problems, and we have to think about livestock as something that takes care of us. And livestock, extensive livestock, has a future because, as it has been said, we all needed to manage our environment. Because without you, none of this would make sense. You are preserving a means of production that we all need, as the general director said. It's normal that it's very hard for livestock keepers to attend here because they're having to feed their livestock now. We're going through a horrible drought, and we really hope that there will be a rain during these days, although this will be a bummer for visitors and tourists. Everyone was complaining about the terrible heat in the city of Córdoba yesterday. This will be recorded. There are around 400 people registered online. 120 people are here. And during these days, we will have the opportunity to discuss on the situation of livestock keeping. We will talk about its challenges, and we consider livestock, extensive livestock, as a mode of livestock that has a future and that takes care of the environment. As we said, it's necessary to manage our environment. Looking at you here, I was thinking that, well, this is the first topic on this, the first meeting on this topic, and we want to have other editions. And I was thinking that maybe next time we will have to invite children because they are the future. If this is the livestock of the future, we need children to hear about this type of livestock keeping, the ones who will be able to work in it in the future. It's a very decent and wonderful job that takes care of our environment and our food. But also because as consumers, they should um, know how to distinguish between different types of production systems. They should be proud of this activity in the real world. Often, children in villages leave looking for another type of living because we haven't been able to transmit them other ways of preserving these means. I don't want to talk about this much more because we'll have the opportunity to talk about this during these days. Please participate in this meeting. That's the purpose of this meeting, to have people participate. Welcome you all, and thanks for your attention. Thank you very much, Vicente. I am going to be really brief because of the obvious characteristics of this moment, the inauguration. Inaugurations need to be brief. Many people are at their workplaces, at their homes. Many people are attending this meeting, this online meeting from different places. And I want to mention something. This is a land that is full of breeds. Our soils are impressive. Our edapology is impressive. We have a very benign climate, wonderful vegetation, and this brings about what I was telling you. Many breeds. Many of these breeds are extensive, the ones that really uh, generate high quality food. So we have all these breeds here, many of which are domestic animals, and some breeds are used for leisure, for example, horses. We have an exceptional breed, which is the Andalusian horse, and the um, wonderful dogs that we have too, for example, the Andalusian hound. And when we talk about livestock in itself, I think we have some of the best breeds that exist. For example, when it comes to to sheep, we have merino sheep, and we have goat breeds that um, it would take me forever to mention all of them, but we know many of them. We have some of the best extensive breeds here. So I want to mention how important breeds are here in our land. We are in this wonderful environment, Andalusia, and more particularly Cordoba, and we are in this wonderful rectorate, which used to be the former School of Veterinary. So I want to encourage you to make the most of this Congress, because what we take home from this Congress will have to be implemented globally, because we have a global problem. It's not just our own problem. Welcome you all. We're here to work, and I encourage you to disseminate your knowledge. So, on behalf of the rector, we are starting this Congress. Thank you.